What is up? KSL continues on with Tasteless and Artosis. And I gotta say, man, Christmas came early for you, Artie. We have a TvT to start things off.
Yeah, that's right. And not only do we have a TvT, well, yeah, we have a TvT, but
Yes.
Also that means
in
that
addition
we get
to
a Terran
the
in
TvT.
the round of 4.
That's right. There's still hope for your race. Protoss have been dominating this year in StarCraft 1. We have so many good players, so many new techniques being used and implemented. But we do get your TvT. And you were really robbed of TvT for most of this year. We somehow managed to avoid that
really,
matchup.
Well, it's been funny. It's just this thing where, like, I miss very few days of casting. Very few.
Right.
But randomly, the ones I've missed have been the ones with Terran players a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what is going on here? This is so unfair. But I finally do get this TvT. Unfortunately, I do miss the round of 4 next week because I'll be at Home Story Cup.
Right.
But I'll be watching that VOD. And you better learn from me today so that you can...
I'll be taking
well, I guess
notes.
it won't be a TvT, so...
I'll be taking notes anyways, no worries. So the schedule for this tournament's a little bit different than what we normally have. Each match starts, it's like in a 2-hour block. It's a staggered setup. So if we get done early, then the next match will start at 5, the match after that, 7, the match after that, 9.
Yeah.
So
I don't
there's
think
also a chance that TvT is quite long statistically. So maybe we'll just wrap this TvT up and then go right into our next matchup as well.
Yeah. I think that it's a reasonable statement to say I think this is going to be 4 to 5 games and a pretty long series. The first map is Fighting Spirit. I mean, you can kill people early in TvT. It can occur. It's not that likely. It's probably the longest matchup.
I think out of all the matchups, it's the one that will have the most skirmishes that don't result in an immediate defeat.
Yeah.
You have a lot of scuffles where somebody gets a little bit of not even taking out a base, but getting some territory on the map that then allows for some more fluid movement to other parts where you might be able to take other fights. But then dropships come into play. It's a real balancing act trying to defend and still be on the offense in this matchup.
Yeah.
It's very similar to Go, the board game. It's just,
Yeah.
you're trying to surround the other side.
Very, very much so. It's TvT, like, it's very hard to actually kill somebody in TvT. And if you do a move which will allow you to actually kill somebody, that is generally a move that's very risky as well.
Yes.
So, for instance, that's why you'll see if anyone starts making dropships too early, more than one, I'll be making fun of them a little bit and be like, we're a little bit all in here, aren't we? We're looking for that damage to end the game, but realistically, this shouldn't work, but it might. Who knows, right? Or Marine rushes, things like that.
Now, do you think that this matchup that we have here is going to be pretty even? Because I feel like Light is definitely the stronger Terran player overall.
I think it's actually relatively even. Mind
Really?
is a strong TvT player. I think it definitely could go in either direction. Mind generally plays a bit better under pressure than Light. That's a fact. Light has never won a championship, even though he's been kind of a level where we expect him to go deep. He's never really gone deep in tournaments.
I wonder if some of my attitude towards Mind has been colored by some of his games from about 2 years ago. He had some pretty abysmal performance right when StarCraft Remastered came out, basically. He looked like he should have been playing well but did not deliver, but that doesn't mean he can't adjust. At times, this was the best Terran player out there. Maybe he will be a close match then for Light.
Yeah, no, I think he could be. It's hard to keep track of exactly where Mind is at, but he's always been, like, his nickname is the Scholar Terran.
Yeah.
Because he's actually really a brilliant Terran. And I've told this story many times in the past, so forgive me, guys in the chat that have watched me a lot without muting me. But once upon a time, it was really, like we had Stork and Bisu around a similar time, right?
Right.
And it's like, okay, who's really the best Protoss? Bisu kind of came out on top. But there was a point in time where we weren't sure if it was going to be Flash or Mind really being the next big one.
That's right.
Funnily enough, Light was kind of around too, where it's like, oh, this kid has big prospects, and then he was a pro league legend, but never an individual league legend. Whereas Mind, actually, Bisu came out, smashes Savior, right?
Right.
And then we're like, whoa, are we going to finally get a Protoss Bonjour? Next season, there's Mind.
Yeah.
He's like, what's up? I'm way smarter than you, Bisu. Get out of here.
But, I mean, this was in a totally different era of StarCraft.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that makes StarCraft 1 specifically, and StarCraft 2 is getting there now, is it's aged very well. But there's so many periods of time where there were players and certain styles that were very dominant that may not hold the same relevance today. So I guess the question is, can Mind really reinvent himself in the modern era of StarCraft 1 and try to deliver that kind of Terran performance? Because Light on the other side of this is much more of a purely mechanical, robust, strong player. Occasionally, he does make questionable builds in best of fives. You know, we had, I think it was actually season 2 of KSL where he did command center first every game and, lost. Because when you see that pattern, the solution becomes pretty easy.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, like mine took just a little tiny bit of a break. Let's take a look at the bracket first, then I'll talk about that. But yeah, these are our matches today, but it's in reverse order.
Yeah, we're casting this from bottom going up to the top. So the last match is going to be Mini Zero, as we've been talking about earlier. We'll be casting the bottom match first, the TvT.
And okay, so like I was mentioning, if you actually look at the modern era, let's throw the modern era because I think that you can. There's so many different ways you can divide it. Like when Flash came into full form, a lot of times I think of that as the truly modern era. But even before that, if you look all the way back to ASL Season 1 and forward, mine is the 4th most accomplished Terran during that time period. It's Flash, of course, and then Last, and then Sharp, and then it's Mind, actually, who's more accomplished than all the other Terrans during that time period. So that definitely means something, right?
How do you like that hot pack they gave us?
That's amazing.
I don't know if we're going to be back on camera, but I got to show the viewers, if we are on camera, what they just gave us. Anyways, it's going to be a great match today. One thing to watch for as well, Rain versus Snow, a rematch from an ASL Finals. Rain appears to be more dominant in the matchup PvP than we've seen anybody dominate any matchup ever in all of StarCraft 1.
Pretty much.
And before you guys trip over yourselves and say Jadong, ZVZ,
his PvP is more dominating than that. Yeah, why don't we show these on the camera?
So these are hot packs. Let me show you guys how these work. These are the hot packs that, where do you open this thing?
I just love the picture on it.
Yeah. So you take these, I'm sure they have these in places that you shake them and they become hot. But more importantly, look at the guy. Look at this guy on the pack. Look how sad he looks.
Well, he's cold.
He's really, he needs this hot pack.
Yeah, he's going to be warmed right up.
Look how sad he is.
Poor little guy.
Yeah.
That's all right. Open that hot pack and give it to him.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, I forget. Oh yeah, you were saying about Rain's dominant PvP.
Oh right, Jadong very dominant in ZVZ as well.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the actual most dominant matchup that there ever was I Love Oov's Terran vs Zerg, which was on a 27-0 win streak before
I actually
July.
forgot about that. Wait, you might be.
And then we had some other ones where Flash went 11-0 in TvT, I believe. Obviously, Jadong's overall win percentage ZVZ was astronomical, but yeah, I know Rain's PvP is ludicrous.
For the modern era, there's nothing that compares, really.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, looking at these guys, these stats really, again, some of these stats don't do justice like you were talking about because we haven't had that many tournaments. It's like 8 ASL seasons, 4 KSL seasons. Like that 4 and 12, a bunch of those losses are probably to Flash and Last. It's like, well...
I think the statistics get interesting the longer that the game has been out for.
Also,
it was pretty bad when we started at GSL, and we see that this guy is 1-1 in this matchup.
Also, we only have 1 versus 1 tournaments right now in ASL and KSL. Back in the day, the stats meant a bit more because you'd be fielded in Pro League really often, and that would be a huge chunk of your stats, and that would be against a wider variety, whereas in 1 versus 1 tournaments, that's cheerful. Very nice one.
Yeah.
But in 1 versus 1 tournaments, you're always playing the best of the best, right? So you get these, like...
That battlecruiser needs to go to a chiropractor.
I know.
His neck is crooked.
Maybe he's just trying to turn to the left.
Could be. Anyways, what were you saying?
Yeah, I'm just saying that some of these statistics, it's like, yeah, I know who caused these losses. It's like, yeah, Last is very good TvT. Last is better than Mind TvT. Anyways, Light vs. Mind, I think it could be a very good series. I'm really, really excited. Let's do it, Tastes.
Yeah, we're going to start out on the classic StarCraft map, Fighting Spirit. The map that the little ladder grinders love. It's been around forever. It is a great map. And TvT, it's going to be fun to see how this is going to unfold. Again, it's a best of 5. The winner moves on to the next round of the KSL.
Yeah, one of these guys gets a round of 4. That's so sick.
Yeah. All right, let's do this. Game 1, Light vs. Mind, starts now. Okay, so... Okay, that's Light, yeah. Light's in the upper right. What was his ID?
Lost in Space R.
Oh, Lost in Space R, okay. And mine's in the bottom left. So we have cross spawns here in this TvT.
Yeah. That actually makes it even more interesting, because you can't get slight positional advantages otherwise, but this makes it just completely even. No one really has that advantage. The top right main is slightly better than the bottom left main, whatever. We're not going to take that into consideration right now. So, yeah, I'm like just so totally pumped to even see what build orders that they want to open with here, because there is, again, a pretty big variety. Factory Expand is getting more popular once again. There was a lot of gasless expands for a while in TvT, but people got much better at fighting against them. There's a lot of Command Center firsts as well, but people are better at fighting against those also. And of course, as those rotate out, you stop doing as many center barracks plays like that, because Factory Expand comes back, and that's kind of the counter to that. So I think we're going to see some pretty robust openings from these guys. There's nothing that I like as much as a robust TvT opening taste.
Artosis loves TvT. He
I
truly does love the
truly love
matchup. It's funny because it is actually, generally speaking, the most reviled matchup. People do not like it.
Yeah, well,
Is that what reviled means? Did I just use that word correctly?
Yeah, you did, but
Okay.
people are stupid is the problem.
People are stupid. This is true.
And people like easy things. People want to play Candy Crush. People want to blame teammates. They want to blame RNG. TvT, like you said, it's kind of like Go. It's just such a sophisticated matchup. There is so much more to it than many matchups. Like, there is so much that you have to know how to do and know how to move. It's so positional. There's so many different strategies that work. There's a lot of different unit comps that work. I mean, you can play it in so many different ways. It's, you're not really railroaded into like, 2 units. It's not like ZVZ, right? It's not just Ling Muta. It's like you can open Vultures, you can open Goliaths, you can open Vulture Goliath, you can open tanks, you can open Vulture tank, you can open Goliath tank, you can go Wraiths, you can go dropships, you can do all these things. It's an amazing matchup. It's really one of the best. And I mean, the thing is, you have to learn it and kind of understand what's going on, but that's something I always tell people. It's like, whatever you don't like that other people like, if you learned about it, you'd probably like it. I'm not saying you need to go learn about it, like what you like, but yeah, it's a great matchup, trust me.
Well, I think the more that
I have the best taste. I like all the best music. I like all the best games.
Okay, you do not like all the best music, Artosis. I love you. I do love you, all right, Artosis, but if someone's not here to keep you in check, Artosis, you would have just let that one go out and moved right on with your life.
I like all the best music. I hang out with all the coolest dudes.
All the hottest dudes.
Yeah.
I drive all the fastest cars.
I take all the fastest subway trains. Like, listen. So my opinions mean the most. Okay, so let's see here. So Factory Expand on both sides as predicted.
Yes.
Vulture from Light, Vulture from Mine. We'll see how many they end up making. It's cross spawn, so I wouldn't be surprised with just one popping out.
One of the big things we want to be watching for in this matchup is who's going to initiate control of some part of the middle of the map. You generally don't see players push into each other and kill each other. It does happen sometimes, but generally speaking, we want to see, okay, who tries to seize control of some location. A lot like chess, the middle of the map is very important in TvT, because when you control the middle of the map, you're able to then navigate to the other different corners with more ease. Oh my God, good kill there.
Well, there you go. All right, Mine. I'm picking Mine to win this series.
Ooh.
That build that Light was doing there, that's kind of a, I don't know where it originated, but I've seen it a lot more lately, where you're just opening with a Factory Expand that's proxying a starport, because there's like little rock, paper, scissors games that go on with this. It's like, are you going Vultures? Are you going tanks? Are you going Vulture tank, right? And you don't want to make an armory in these situations, because if you make an armory and your opponent is just going like Vulture tank, for instance, they have a slight advantage. Oh my God, Light's screwing up here. What are you doing? How did he not lose that?
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
He's going to be able to pull that other Vulture away. Mind is just crushing it today.
Yeah, no, he's deflected everything. But yeah, that proxy starport play is actually, it's really tricky. It can do the damage.
Late transfer there on the SCVs too for Light. It's pretty bad considering that Mind already got his command center up first.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Are we going to enter a Vulture arms race here?
It does look that way. And Light should have the, or rather, sorry, Mind should have the big advantage there. Because, again, he went for the second factory more quickly, and then he just killed 2 vultures, or 1 vulture, sorry, there from his opponent. So, Mind just rallying out, should be getting into speed quickly. Yeah, Mind looking really strong. Also, there's you can land your barracks where he's sitting his vultures, and that blocks the vultures from going around.
I wanted to say that. That was going to be my moment to drop a knowledge
sorry.
bomb. I was so ready to just say exactly that. Artosis, give me something to say in this matchup that I don't understand.
I'm sorry. I didn't know that you knew that.
I did. We saw that last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But he's making a depot here. He can't land that now, right?
There's not a place to land it that will block. You'll have a way to get out on either side.
Damn it. I was ready to drop my knowledge
sorry.
bomb that I basically just outsourced to you last week, and then I get to say it here.
Yeah.
You know, when you get to cast in Brood War a matchup that's not your own, you're basically plagiarizing from your co-host from weeks past.
Well, you should just do it like me, where I just ask you, is there any chance they'll go carriers? I'm not plagiarizing anything. That's me, totally me.
You know, eventually someone will go carriers, and you'll be saying, finally, at last.
I told you. That happened at one of those events that you, me, and Jeff and Sean did.
Yeah.
Where I was like, I think he should be going Guardians here, guys. And you guys were all like, the Terran player thinks he should go Guardians. And then he went Guardians. I think it was actually Jayan that did it. And he went Guardians and like wrecked the Archons. And it was like, I was just sitting there like, I am the man.
The smile on your face right now says it all.
Yeah, that was a proud moment for me.
So we have the first indication of map control here. There's going to be some mines planted down here. Now this is about as light of a contain as you can have. Now remember that one of the one of the things about this matchup is that vultures don't set off mines.
Yes.
Okay. Archons also don't. I believe that's because they hover.
They float.
Yeah,
Anything
they're
that
hovering
floats
units.
does not. So
Yeah.
workers, Archons, vultures.
Yes, do not set off mines. It's just sort of a weird thing. Very specific, but worth noting. Now, tanks, on the other hand, do. Now, mines, as far as damage goes, they don't discriminate. They'll damage anything that's there, including your own units.
Yes.
So, you want to be careful as you move out, because in TvT, they also plant mines in very concentrated clusters, so 4 or 5 pop up at once instead of 1 or 2, like you'd see in a Protoss versus Terran, and then you can just get totally wiped out. So right now, the skeleton of a contain is here with Mind. We'll see if Mind then tries to put some tanks up here, because right now he has not halted on an incredible amount of vulture production.
Now, it's my opinion that Mind should actually already be in front of these, like, behind these mines, basically.
Okay.
Because Light is getting ready to bust out. He needs to. He can't let this contain stay. If Siege tanks get on the other side of his bridge, Mind will have an easy time suffocating him.
It looks to me almost like these vultures could be treated as if they were Zerglings here. Like if Light tries to push south, the vultures can just run inside the main and kill all the workers.
You can make moves like that, but then your opponent is going to gain map control after that, and sometimes the workers aren't worth that, and sometimes they are. It's a difficult thing to figure out, because if you get the contain on your opponent, it's worth more than SCVs. Like, map positioning is oftentimes the most powerful, important thing. So look at this. He's actually clearing the mines really quickly. I'm surprised that Mine didn't focus on not allowing this to occur so quickly.
Do you want to... Oh, we're not going to get a shot of that. Did that damage the tank? Nice. Do you want to try to dive into them as the mines are coming up? Is that effective at all?
Sometimes what you'll do is, if they scan and you attack their vultures with your vultures suddenly, sometimes they'll start shooting your vultures, and then someone will shoot mines. You actually get a favorable engagement. But
okay.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of suggesting. I felt like Mind might want to do there, so he retains more of the map. But Light has pushed out. He's taken a bunch of the map back. He is taking that 12 o'clock base. Oh, this is great by Light. Look at this.
Yeah, he wants to try to target those tanks. Yeah, there you go. And the next tank's going to be done. If you just get a few vulture shots off and then 2 siege tank shots, you will kill a tank immediately. Wow, great control. Now, this is what I was worried about. I think Mind, look, on paper, his strategies are brilliant, but Light is such a strong, aggressive macro player. He's very good at engages. He's very, very mechanical, and he still has a great strategic foundation. And I think we're seeing that demonstrated really clearly here in this game, as he just powered through the contain, out-muscled Mind in a head-to-head fight, and now Mind has lost his third.
Yeah, this was incredibly powerful by Light. And the thing is, Mind ran away. He got the mine contain up. He had his vultures over there. And the thing is, he had his barracks floating, so he saw the switch into siege tanks. So if your opponent switches into siege tanks before you, not only did you have more vultures before, but from now on, you have more vultures, because they're making siege tanks. So I feel like he could have kept his vultures out in the map, slowed this push, and gotten into a good position. Instead, Light very quickly, very deftly, moved into a strong spot and is now denying this third base. Why is Light denying a third when he got contained?
I know. He's pushed all the way across, and even though Mind has the high ground, this is much harder than it looks to hold off here, especially if, yeah, he's on top of his scans here.
That is a lot of siege tanks.
Oh my God.
Holy crap,
I think we actually might be at the breaking point here. Mind had to try to reclaim this, but he's going to end up losing so many tanks in the process. And we're at a point in time where, like, the tank count, it can't be surpassed, I don't think.
It's, yeah,
you know?
He has to utilize defender's advantage at this point to get anything done. Oh, man.
Oh, wow, he's already going into Wraiths now.
Yeah, this is pretty common amongst the Korean Terrans.
GG.
Yeah, I'm not even surprised. That was a really quick game. Mind had the better opener.
Looks like he got powerbombed, bro.
Yeah, that was weird. I feel like Mind made some very questionable choices. When you see your opponent popping out siege tanks, that does not mean that you have to run your vultures home.
Looks like my boy Light's got this, Artosis.
He might have it. He might have it. I mean, good for him if he does. He just doesn't have deep finishes in these tournaments.
You can even see on Mind's face, to be serious for a second, he knows, wow, okay.
Yeah.
He Light punched back so hard. And again, we were saying most of TvT is centered around trying to get a contain up and then having that. And Mind got the startings of a contain up before Light barreled across the map, breaking everything that was in his path. I think especially in the upper left quadrant of the map, that fight that happened, where he targeted so perfectly on the tanks of Mind.
Yeah.
We saw, I think over the course of that push, about 5 tanks go down, and then it was sieged up over to the third. And I'm not sure what Mind could have done better, except control better, I guess? I don't know.
He was out of position is what it really comes down to.
Okay.
And then he fought Light when Light hit siege mode first and had some mines down and everything went wrong. But yeah, you can't take that positional loss there.
So we're going to go to Circuit Breakers for map number 2. Now this absolutely can be an insanely long TvT. There's so many bases that you can take.
Yep.
The map in the center is very open. There are no real obstructions. There are certain spots you can't build on, but units can move very freely here. So this should be a very exciting TvT. This is going to be a test of stamina and strength.
Yeah, it's definitely one where if one player out macros the other, they can roll through the center and gain a huge advantage. So maybe that's going to work here for Light once again. We'll see.
Okay, we're still waiting for Mind to join the game. We do allow players a little bit of downtime before they have to hop right in, but he will eventually have to get in here, and then we're going to go into this game. Let's also point out that Light was even thwarted with that hidden building there at the bottom of the map. Mind was doing everything according to plan, but it was Light that just mechanically was superior. Our game is ready to start. This is Light versus Mind, game 2. Right now, Light with a 1-0 lead. Again, cross spots. The same players in the same spots. What does it mean?
Means we have a good game on our hands. Mind in the bottom left, Light in the top right.
Wow.
You know, sometimes things like this happen. You get positionally outplayed. You make one mistake leads into another very quickly, and then you get stomped. Hope that we see a better mid game here out of Mind.
This is Mind's chance to redeem himself in a cross-spawns TvT.
Yeah, a 4-player map.
Or this could be the curse of Mind, as he is doomed to forever losing cross-spots TvTs to Light.
Yeah, that would
over and over again for all time.
That would be doom, especially if we get Overwatch next. That would be cross spawns.
That's right. So, Again, Light just had such good control, such good decision-making. One thing, when you say a player is very mechanical on TvT, they know exactly when to siege. They always pull that moment off. And that's a real skill set in and of itself. I don't think it's celebrated enough in Terran vs. Terran when people talk about it, but sieging up right outside their siege line. And remember, guys, siege tanks can fire slightly further than their vision. Yeah. It's one of the reasons why you see these floating structures in the middle of the map, is they need basically, it's like a mechanical overlord almost to spot for them. Yeah. It's also why you see scans that are spammed out as these engagements happen, because since the tank can shoot a hex further than its sight, if you see their tank and they haven't responded in time, you can hit their tank first. Their tank will fire back, but by then the back and forth has already begun, and since you fired first, you will end up killing their tank before they can kill yours. Yeah. It's also one of the reasons why +2 attack in TvT is so impactful, because that's when siege tanks in siege mode go from 3-shotting a tank to 2-shotting it.
So important.
How am I doing in TvT, Artosis?
No, you're
am I doing it all right?
Why don't you tell me about this, what we see right here?
What, the forward barracks?
Yeah.
He's going to use that to scout pretty quickly, right? He wants to get across the map, right?
So that's definitely part of it, and it's very helpful like that, but a forward 11 barracks is used on maps like Circuit Breakers quite often, because it is a big map, and you're going to run into things like gasless expand and command center first. And right here, mine is actually doing command center first.
Yeah.
So this gives Light more pressure. And what you're looking to do here, I mean, if you kill SCVs, great. But just overall, just forcing SCVs to come fight. You're forcing a quick bunker. You're forcing more Marine production. This could give Light a little advantage against this build. Normally, you don't see someone just straight die to it, but that is a possibility occasionally.
When we saw the command center first, I actually, for a split second, almost swapped the players again, because I'm so used to seeing Light try to do this in our other games.
You'll never live that down, that ASL day.
Well, that was that was a parable, is what that series was, of why you need different build orders in a series.
He's actually chasing the SCV, so this turned out a little bit better for Mind. Now, command center first cross spawns is way more powerful than close spawns. Way more powerful, because it's such a long travel distance, and there's so many ways to go around your opponent. Looking at the position that we are now in this game, as long as he makes his bunker, I feel like Mind has a pretty significant advantage. Now, with the forward 11 racks, there was the chance that he would send the Marines directly across and say chase the SV, which is fine. You know, you don't. It's just kind of bad luck in a way if they go command center first and their cross spawns. You know, same with Protoss. Like every Terran with their salt will do the, what is it called, like the N scout or the Z scout, where they scout a close spawn and then the other spawn looking for Nexus first, and then if they get to the cross spawns as Nexus first, it's like, oh, well, I can't do anything anyways.
Yeah.
And the same thing is kind of here.
Well, Mine's off to a good start. An uninterrupted command center first is, I think out of all the things that you could start out with Terran, is one of the most ideal things ever. You know that you're off to a great beginning here.
Well, you cannot stop him from getting containment up, like map containment. He's going 3 factory right away. His economy is significantly better than Light's right now. And he's going to be able to make more vultures, which means he can get his mines up again. Which means even going vultures for Light, I'm surprised he's just made a 3rd vulture. Like, maybe he's making 3 in speed and going to try to do a run by.
Well, can a vulture fit through that depot and that?
Through the depot and the top thing, yes.
Yeah, that
north of the
destruction.
Oh, he actually went mines.
The square.
I used to do this against command center first, but I don't really like it that much. These are just scouting mines to kind of keep track of what
spotter mines.
Yeah, what is Mine doing? When is he moving out? That type of thing. And now he's going to go into Tank Goliath. So, yeah, and notice he is getting the academy really quickly. He knows he's going to be contained by mines, and he needs his scans ASAP.
Okay. Mind, on the other hand, is continuing to make more and more vultures. Are we going to have the same ideas presented here from Mind that were in the last game? He's going to move out on the map, be able to bully the vultures of Light's back, and then get his own Mind contained set up here?
That's exactly what we're going to see.
Okay.
In fact, if his speed finishes and Light does not get his vultures back in time, things can get out of control. Yeah, see, now he loses all of his vultures that are here.
Yeah.
Loses these 3. Like, they laid mines, so it's not like they did nothing, but Light has to build a wall at home now.
Yeah. Vultures are funny. When you get enough in there, they just can spam everything down.
Yeah.
And they reinforce literally faster than anything else in the game. Get the building up! Oh!
Yeah, he should not die from this, but it's painful. Look at that beautiful play. And of course, he is getting mines right now. Oh, I love targeting down the Marine.
Yeah, I love that he just
effective.
shoves in there. He knows another SCV is going to come in. And this is a funny way that you just get free kills on workers.
Yeah, this is awesome. Even losing that doesn't really matter. He's going to have that map contained. Look, the mines are up. The only thing that Light has going for him right now is the fact that he has mines on the map. So he's going to know expansion timings and move out timings of units other than vultures, which is really important. Look at this. Now he is going to be able to lay mines.
Now he's got his mines on him, Marty.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big advantage to Mind right now. Look at this supply difference, 20. Now you got to think about this a little bit like StarCraft 2 ZVZ, where these are roaches.
Okay.
Vultures, they scale kinda, but you know, as we get a lot of Siege Shanks, Goliaths, and you know, just different comps out, the Vultures won't fight as well.
Yeah.
But they do give you so much power on the map, and for sure, we have a good SCV lead for Mind.
So, now that Mind has really cemented his lead, we got to see if Light can still come back from this, because in the last game, everything that Mind did and it worked didn't matter in the in the long run.
Yeah.
And we're getting to the same moment here where the Terran has the tanks, the Vultures, and most importantly, the scans, and can begin to roam out on the map here. Now, when Mind invests a lot into those Vultures early, you're also giving up some tanks. Not a lot, but you didn't make tanks.
Yeah.
Right, so the tank count is a little bit higher here. And so this game is, again, very similar as far as how things have began to unfold here.
Yeah, it's a very good thing that you point out. Like, that is where Light has the tiny advantage, is he probably has 2 more tanks than Mind, and he can probably keep 2 more tanks than Mind. But he has to utilize his units really intelligently.
Ooh, this tank's actually quite low. When you get a tank that low, Vultures can actually spam it down if it's isolated. So again, as we mentioned before, here are the structures that are used to spot.
Now, Light is overextending, I feel like, slightly. If you look at this, like, his tanks are exactly on the middle point of the map. So he's taking more of the map, but his 5 factories are a little bit slower and he has less Vultures. So if, like, right now he has to rally out non-stop all of his units if he wants to hold this position. But that does give Mind an opportunity to maybe split some Vultures off and run around and try to do some harassment. Or he might just try to break him because this is so far out for Light.
Yeah, this angling is quite good here for Mind. Light immediately sieges up. He's a little bit ahead. A scan here. I think he could hit that tank.
Yeah, he might just be in range.
Oh, no, but he's not going to scan.
Now he definitely is.
And now Mind is going to get the kills over here. Tank shots being distributed pretty nicely.
It's hard when it's zoomed out to tell.
Yeah, it's funny. The zoom feature, I think, has actually made StarCraft more consumable in a lot of ways, but it's hard for, I think, you and me, who are so used to just having the screen fixed in a certain spot, to then tell where tanks can hit each other from at a big distance.
Yeah. Now, they're both taking third bases, but you can really see Mind exacerbating his lead. He's up, again, over 20 supply now. His production is just non-stop. His economy is so fluid. Like, there's nothing that Light has an advantage in at this point. And he's so far out there. Like, he's living on a dream right now with this contain. This is not even a contain. Like, look how many units this is. Mind can just attack it and kill all of his units now.
Yeah, I feel like Mind is about to crush this from multiple angles. Oh, nice Mind hit.
Mine, yeah. Oh,
still, though, Mind is beginning to win the fights. The third has been taken. Nobody's got the gas just yet, but I got to say, Light's put himself in a pretty difficult spot. Oh, my God, I thought those were his mines.
Ooh.
Ouch.
That's painful. That's painful.
Oh, no, and now these Vultures can slip through. I think Mind is very close to almost toppling Light here. I mean, there's been enough tanks that have been killed off that this can start to snowball here.
Yeah, this is, it's tough. Like, even losing those Vultures, again, does it matter? No, not really. killing off some SCVs. Did that really matter? Not as much. These are like little tit-for-tat situations. Whereas, I mean, you keep liking it to go, but look at the minimap. Look at how Mind is kind of surrounding him. Notice how he has 40 more supply.
Right.
Eventually, there will be weakness somewhere, and Mind will just attack in. And I feel like he could have already, but look at that. 4 tanks? No, 4 tanks. Even siege mode is not going to save you here.
Okay, and this is where Mind, I think, it just punched through. 2 little vultures, 2 little tanks, and this spot is all but gone. And this means that the center right base, the 3 o'clock base, is going to be totally exposed.
So right now, Light is doing the Desperation 3-port Wraith.
Which could work.
Yeah,
if Mind doesn't respect this possibility, the Wraiths can come through there and kill all the tanks off.
Yeah, you normally don't think of that. Normally, Wraiths are a really great unit to make when you're ahead. And then they're kind of like DTs when you're behind, where it's a little bit predictable, but they can do it.
Yeah,
like,
sometimes
it's possible.
you just get in there.
But if they predict that you're doing this at this point, then the game ends. Like if they have a Goliath spread and turrets up and you come out with 3-port Wraith, you're just like, oh, okay, well, I tried and it didn't work.
Right.
But you know what? There's not many Goliaths out for Mind. I've seen 1 Goliath so far.
Yeah.
But we do hear a lot of scans. We don't see exactly where they are. Normally when things slow down, you start scanning, looking to see if your opponent's going Wraith, so maybe he's seen that now.
Well, Light hasn't been broken yet. Mind is still getting a bigger and bigger lead here in supply and in tank counts, but until Light is broken, you know, he still has the ability to drain that base at the 3rd and try to get some kind of comeback here. But Mind pushes in a little bit further. This will force the tank no man's land back a little bit further as well, as we see Light is starting to really run out of space here. Now, he's got 6 Wraiths. Is there an ideal number you want to send out in Wraiths? Is it like 9 or something? Is there a certain amount that kill tanks very quickly in a succession of shots?
No, it's not really like that. It's more like you make the Wraiths and you make a judgment on when they're going to do damage best, because eventually Goliaths get added in no matter what.
Okay, a scan reveals the Wraiths over here. It does seem like Mind was cognizant that this could be a problem.
He's only got 2 Goliaths, so you can actually do a lot because Mind is so spread out. And I mean, when you see the Wraiths, if you just have 2 Goliaths, it takes the 25 seconds to build a Goliath, then the rally time to get it up there.
Yeah.
So you actually have this long period where you might be able to get some significant value. Like, look at this. This is great. The Goliaths have to run back and forth. It's really difficult to cover all this.
Yeah, Goliaths are not very quick units either. It's funny because they're very good, but a lot of their stats seem pretty poor when you just look at them compared to the other units, you know?
You could be talking about any Terran unit right now, and I wouldn't know which one.
So, for now, Mind is continuing to try to squeeze his opponent. He does have an additional base, but it's a mineral only, which is fine. Light is also going to take his mineral only. Is there no reason to just always go for a gas, or is minerals fine?
I think once you have 3 gases up, minerals are totally fine. Like, you can just go into a billion factories and run people over at that point, and the minerals will help you to take command centers everywhere as well. Yeah, like you only feel gas limited most of the time when you're on 2 gas. Once you have that 3rd, you're pretty good. You can make more siege tanks than you know what to do with 3 gases, basically.
Okay. By the way, Mind is maxed out, but Light is not far away from being maxed out. If Light is not killed off, he will eventually match the size and scope of where Mind is, and I think that would be the moment we would start to possibly see Light get back into this game.
Well, I like some of the things that Mind is doing, like he's adding some Valkyries, which can kill those Wraiths pretty well. Mind has set up a reasonably strong defense. Although I do feel like if Mind were to punch in one area, that he wouldn't be held back, you know? Mind is spread really thin in certain spots.
Okay, tanks continuing to press forward here. I don't know that Mind's going to be able to break this. Now, I do like the turret idea over here in the other upper left main. This is going to cut that whole location off from Light for a while now. This is a real uphill fight here for Light.
Yeah. Well, you know, just the fact that he's getting this many bases, though, he can basically max out and stay maxed out for a very long time. So even though we see Mind taking more of the map and kind of having some control and setting up those turrets. Those are great moves. But again, if you're weak anywhere, this is a huge map in the center. And maxed armies can just crush small siege lines.
Very true.
You have to have a lot of supply dedicated to stop a maxed out army from running through you.
I like the small turret ring over here. Both of the mains right now are pretty much under the control of Mind, even though nobody's really occupying them. But here we see Light coming across the map. Now that SCV did spot that. Meanwhile, Mind's going to try to push through the center of the map.
Oh, kills off quite a few siege tanks there. This is one of the weak areas of Light that we were talking about before. He doesn't have that many units here. The dropships, I believe, yeah, they let out their units down at the bottom right, coming back now.
Now this is the moment that Light may be able to come back in this game. Even though Light has very little control of the map here, Mind has invested so much in controlling the center that it looks like the space down here at 6 o'clock has been neglected.
That's a really good move.
Yeah.
Light's playing so well here, I gotta say. Like,
well,
Mind is too, to be fair. Like,
oh yeah,
these are the things that can happen in late game TvT. I mean, you start to get these huge siege lines that are really important to reinforce so your opponent doesn't run through them, but then suddenly dropships come into play and really powerful armies get dropped off in various locations, which can be difficult to deal with.
Oh, an attack coming in here now.
Does he have +2?
Yes, he does.
He is. Okay. Hey, that Goliath flank is awesome.
Are these full? They have to be, right?
I don't know.
Well, I can't imagine they'd be empty flying through here, but...
Right?
I'll take my 3 empty dropships and send them up there. Okay, they were full.
Well, that wasn't so good, was it?
No, it was not. He'll at least be able to kill the SCV making the command center.
Really not? Okay, yeah. Okay,
So, look, even though Light has, I think, soaked up a little bit more from his expansions that he has, map control is going to Mind right now, and until Mind loses map control, you have to assume that Light is still in bad shape. He can come back, but this is looking pretty tough.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good assessment of how to look at it. Also, Mind is switching into Valkyrie Wraith at this point. He's added more ports. He has the Valkyrie lead, so Light can't counter with Wraiths, which means Light will be forced into more Goliaths, which means less tanks. So, good moves. Oh, man. Look at this strong move. And now Light's going to lose this 3 o'clock base.
Yeah. Light is very exposed in this one corner, but he's going to try to push out here through the top. Now, you have to eat a lot of damage to get out of a contain like the one that Mind has, but I think Light is actually comfortable giving up the center right base if he can come over here and smash the center left, because this is where it seems like Mind may no longer have an actual contain here. Instead, it's getting a little bit more hectic, a little bit more chaotic.
Yeah, it definitely is getting that, but we see that Mind is doing this more cost efficiently than Light, because Light just has a little bit less, but he is still getting some of that damage in. If he can eliminate all of the top left via doing this attack on the 9 o'clock base, then we've got a real game on our hands, I would say.
Scan over here. He's close to breaking this location. I think with dropships, he can actually get behind the upper mineral patches at the 9 o'clock spot and do damage over there. Oh, okay, these are vultures. Yeah, it looks like he's not going to get above the minerals. Oh, yeah, he will. So, I think, though, that Mind could still, if he does this correctly, come through and actually break the entire strip of siege tanks up here. And the Wraiths are going to be very helpful in this process as well.
Yeah, he can actually clear that, which is so important. Light is not quite getting this base. Mind is just barely defended it, but here Mind goes for another attack. I'm not sure that this one's going to be as successful. A nice defense matrix on the bottom there.
Okay, man, I don't know if Light can hang on much longer here. If this tank line from Mind gets close enough to where the it has control over the bridges that are just north of that screenshot that we had over there a second ago, then there's no way for Light to get out of his base.
Pretty much.
He has to go through his
12 o'clock, and that's the worst thing in the world. If you have to go through your 12 o'clock to get out, no, your time in this game is very short at that point.
I know we're 20 minutes into this game, but let's not forget that Mind did open up Command Center first, and that went uninterrupted, which gave him an economic edge.
Yeah.
Okay, but Light is not giving up yet. He's continuing to hit in these soft spots. Now, getting control of the bottom right is important, but we cannot ignore the fact that Mind is already draining resources from the upper left quadrant of the map.
Yeah, he doesn't have a ton of SCVs up there, I don't think, but clearing this tank line, if he regains the center, there's no point to keep going. And there you have it, 1-1 right now. Seems like so far Mind is having better openers, but Light is kind of outplaying him some in some of the middle parts of the game.
Right. Okay, we've got a great match here. And we're not even, we're just getting started. Let me put it like that, Artos.
Yeah.
This is tied up 1-1. It seems like anybody can take it.
Sure, absolutely.
I'm glad to see that Light is really able to hold his own in a very intense macro game. But look, he did a build that was a little bit sneaky, and he got away with it. He went unpunished, CC first. That's the dream for Terran, you know?
And it was cross spawns. You know, Light's opener was really poor. I'm like surprised he even did that well. Because a lot of the time when you open with like Mines and they went 3-fact Volt as a command center first, they're just so far ahead in units. You saw what Mine did. He was up 20 supply forever, but he didn't push it too hard.
We're going to take a short break. When we return, Light versus Mine, game number 3. What's up, everybody? We're back here at the KSL. It's tied up 1-1. Light and Mind, so far a very even match. We will be going to Neo Sylphid for game number 3.
All right, looking forward to it. It's been a pretty good series so far. They seem somewhat evenly matched. Kind of feel like Light, if he gets the good early build order, is going to be at a pretty good advantage. So I am leaning towards him winning this series right now.
So let's get into this. It's game 3. We're ready. Light versus Mind. Okay, we've got Light in the bottom left and Mind in the bottom right. 3-player map here. This is a map where you're on low ground to start out, and your expansion is also on low ground. So no ramps you can try to hide behind. Artosis.
Yeah, that can make vultures a little bit stronger because of that.
You can get a lot of speed vultures and just jam them into a natural expansion of your opponents.
Sure.
And sometimes just win the game there.
3-player map, so kind of forces more activity in the mid and late game. So you can't really divide the map in half. So, yeah, I'm excited. Let's see what these guys open with. Because Mind has had better openers both games. But they've been, the first game, Light kind of crushed him, and in the second game he won. But he didn't really have much killer instinct in the second game. Which, the thing is, killer instinct in TvT is not what killer instinct is in other ones. Like, a lot of times you have to go kill the Protoss or the Zerg.
A lot of times you'll see, like, Bisu or Rain just get in there and kill the Zerg in a way that we're not used to seeing.
Sure. But TvT, I feel like, well, he had such an advantage in that last game. I think he could have pushed it harder earlier. And the higher you let your opponent get in supply, the more likely he's going to be able to do something to come back. So I feel like you want to push your edges a little bit more. Anyways, this is a center Rax here from Mind. So if Light were to go for a quick command center, no, he's not. So the center Rax probably won't do anything other than scout very quickly.
This can be deceptive because, generally speaking, in StarCraft, you see buildings made in the middle of the map, and you assume this signals the most dramatic of rushes, but in fact, not at all. You can get a Marine or 2 out and then just scout more quickly with that. You do end up in a problem if you both try to center Rax, though. That's where it gets kind of funny.
Yeah, or if they scout real quick to the center and force you to cancel it or something. Normally you'll send 2 SCVs and make sure that you finish it, but it'll screw up your economy pretty bad.
Yeah.
But in this situation, you'll just get to scout really quickly, which is nice. I mean, getting your barracks in your opponent's base, it's something you have to factor into a lot of build orders, is figuring out what they're doing. Are they adding an early starport? How many factories are they going on, etc.?
So Marines are going to be made. We did have a scout come up here to the top and see that Light now knows that Mind's in the bottom right here. And Mind is going to get that scout off over here into light space right now. I like the Marine coming up here. He knows that the SCV must be coming from the angle at the top, so he's going to try to intercept it. Oh, I'm sorry. He turns around.
Well, he thought it was going to be there by now. You get these timings down pretty darn well over time. There's only a few numbers people actually scout on. It's like 13 or 14 scout basically every time.
Yeah, and a great body blocking. This is how you want to do it. If you get good enough and you're on ping that is clean enough, you can just juke and jive and get in front of a worker. And that was the moment we saw that there. The SCV would have wanted to slide past the Marine and get a scout off, but the Marine body blocked very effectively.
Yeah, it was very nicely done. Well, looks like it is command center time on both sides. And Light actually going for the add-on before a Vulture. Okay, so if Mind insta-rallies a Vulture across the map, then he's going to get a little advantage here. Let's see if he does it.
Insta rallies.
Well, let's see if it leaves his natural. Yep, it
Artosis,
does. Okay,
it's
this
out.
is good. This is good for him. Now we'll see if Light makes a tank or a Vulture. Oh, he's actually very slow in making whatever it is he's going to make.
Yeah, one Vulture there before anything is there to stop it.
Yeah.
That's hugely problematic. A Vulture dominates bio units.
Yeah. You can kill something like 7 Marines with a Vulture.
Yeah, it's
if
hilarious.
You micro it perfectly.
Yeah. And of course, it can be repaired as well.
Yeah.
Don't forget, you could set one CV out there and try to fix it.
Yeah. Of course, if they're micro the Marines, you get a little bit less, but like you get a lot. And now look at this. You slow down the command center. I love that the SCV fights back. Another Vulture coming up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. This is okay. He gets the tank out, so he
Yeah.
will end up holding this. Now, there is a little bit of damage being done. And so you might look at this and be like, okay, this is Light or Mind advantage. And maybe, but I think there's more to it than that, because having the siege tank out and the fact that you delayed your add-on that long, he already has the second siege tank making. So what we're going to see from Light is he's going to rally his siege tanks down and rally Vultures behind, and that could be a very powerful attack.
In that attack that we saw back there, could you theoretically, as Mind, land the barracks? Well, okay, well, he's going to do something different, but I was going to say land the barracks to lock the tank from trying to protect the command center that's not finished making?
There's some unlandable terrain there, so you can't actually block.
Okay.
Yeah. On maps where that would be possible, you would probably win the game with that move.
That's what I was wondering, is when we saw that.
Yeah. This was a great move, though. Bought him some time there, because really those tanks should be halfway across the map.
Yeah. It's really cool to see. It's one of the funnest things. One of my first joys in StarCraft was playing Terran and learning that I could do this stuff with the buildings to get in the way.
Yeah. It's really, it feels very rewarding.
Yeah.
Okay, so already Mind getting some mines down. So he kind of delayed Light enough. Normally in these types of situations, the tanks can get there before mines are laid to your opponent's base, and then you can keep pressure on. And I actually like that position in TvT. Instead, you know, it's just going to turn into a little bit of a no man's land in the center.
Okay, starport coming here now.
Yeah, that's a pretty quick starport, actually.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised to see that. I thought it was going to be, a little bit more time before we'd have that put down here. Is that to get Wraiths? He doesn't want to get a dropship yet, right? Or
yeah,
does
he'll start with Wraith, and then he'll get into dropship a little bit later.
I'm genuinely asking here. I'm not just trying to facilitate the show. Out of pure curiosity, to this day, I still don't really get, just from coming from a Protoss perspective, what triggers the Wraiths, or is it just an organic thing that's going to happen anyways?
Well, I mean, for me personally, I'll get a feel in a game that a Wraith is going to be good. In situations like this, where it's like, for instance, both players going factory expansion, it's tank Vulture. So if you make a Wraith, you get vision, you get scouting. The Wraith is the ultimate unit for spotting other tanks in tank wars. And you force your opponent into Goliaths. So it's not bad. It's a little bit more stylistic, though. Some players, like, for instance, you won't see Sharp do it ever. He'd rather have the Goliaths.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering. So in this case, the Wraith is really just there to spot and interfere with a ground attack only army. It's not you trying to get as many Wraiths as possible and spring an attack on them. Okay, so it's a different function then.
Yeah, you're going to fly around like... there's that whole zoning thing. Like, for instance, okay, we see he's actually skipped the Wraith and is going directly into multiple dropships, which is kind of funny. But stuff like this can work, obviously. But yeah, the Wraith thing is a very interesting thing, and it's very stylistic. You don't, like, you can be a great TvT player and barely make Wraiths, or you can be a great TvT player and make tons of Wraiths. It's a very dynamic matchup in that regard.
So the map is getting chopped up now. Again, mined with more map control here for sure. One important expansion is actually the one exactly at the top center.
Yeah.
The fact that he has easy access to that because of the way that this map is, how do we say this? Rotationally symmetric.
Yeah, yeah.
And so because it's rotationally symmetric and the position he got, well, I should say he had control of that. Now, Light, identifying that this is going to be a problem, has punched a hole in the contain here in the center, upper center.
You know, this game is one that could be a little bit quick because we've already seen dropships being made. And like I was talking about before, like making dropships early, more than one, it's a funny strategy. It's risky because each one of these dropships and the starport each represent a factory's worth of gas, right? So overall, Light should be able to get a lot of supply comparatively, but this drop might do ridiculous damage. Like, this is going to hurt Light so badly.
Light really doesn't have much defense, and we're not high enough on expansions where you can bounce back from this. I mean, right now it's basically 2 base versus 2 base, and these drops are going to come in right now. Sieging up. Also, access to the armory could deny +1 attack here.
Oh my god. He's going to get so many depots. He's getting so many SCVs. The army that has to come back, like, I think that with this move, Mind is just going to win the game straight up.
I think that he's just going to knock him into game 4 right away.
Yeah.
We see an attack coming down here, but this is such an important spot. Now, the armory is still there, but more tanks are sieging up.
This is making me want to not play the ladder this weekend because I do not want to play against this strategy. This is so deadly.
He really needs to get rid of that armory if he can.
That would be a good kill. That'd be a really good kill.
Wish we would click on that. There we go. I think he might end up getting it. The problem is also these tanks are sometimes getting hit by their own splash.
Yeah.
Okay, Light has almost cleaned this up. Final mine to be planted down here should take this tank out.
All right, he clears it, but the damage was significant. Okay, he traded basically army for army. He bought himself a lot of time. He killed a bunch of SCVs. He supply blocked him. Oh, man.
Yeah, more worker kills here. You know, 3 is the ideal number to kill workers. So 4 is going to give him still more time to 2-shot these SCVs.
Yeah.
Wow. Again, they were on 2 base a little bit ago. So this is, you know, when you take a lot of worker losses early on, it's way more impactful than if you take it later on in the game, you know. The game and your economy, it builds upon itself over time.
Yeah.
So taking hits like that early on really hurt. And this is such a droppable spot. There's no turrets here. One Goliath, which doesn't do anything to drop ships.
Yeah, I mean, a couple tanks is about what he's got there defensively. I think you skip dropping there now as mine and look for other areas to poke into. But this is a tough situation for Light. He's lost so many SCVs. I mean, he's just kind of behind in every way. A risky move from mine, but it gives him that huge advantage once again.
So the tanks are coming up. And here comes a drop now.
Oh, man, this is going to hurt.
This is just a naked expansion. There's just nothing over here.
Oh, 3 tanks as well? That is so hard to clear. You have to use all your SCVs to clear that.
Yeah, the eBay actually getting in the way over here. He's going to use his own workers to try to fight this, but I think there's still plenty more splash to go down here on some of these workers that are still on the edges.
Yeah, you see this targeting as well. He's targeting the tanks upon his opponent's tanks. Like, this was so worthwhile. What a great drop. Mind is killing it this game.
Yeah, Mind is really in control. The question is, can he navigate this to a closer? As long as he keeps dropping and forces Light to juggle so many defensive locations, to stretch him so thin that one of these spots is going to crack open.
He's up 40 supply, and the thing is, I think actually at this point, I'm like, okay, yeah, he's doing this harassment again, which isn't bad. It's 4 vultures, so he's going to get a lot of damage for it, but I think that part of playing a situation like this is knowing when to stop.
Okay.
I actually think that what he should do right now is just power up units and roll through Light, because look at this. He's up 50 supply right now. 50 supply. So if he just, and lots of that is in SCVs as well, if he utilizes that to just build more supply and get a big army, what does Light possibly do?
It's a good question. Also, I think he could even take a large amount of his SCVs in that final fight. You know.
Yeah,
and
it's
just
possible.
absolutely break through them.
Yeah, if you have, you can break siege lines with SCVs. That's an older tactic. We don't see it very often.
Oh,
we
is
only
it
see
less common now?
We see it defensively still, but offensively, it's super rare to pull SCVs. But it is a doable tactic, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you on the push.
Yeah.
I think he just needs to come through here.
We don't need any more drops. Like, what, you going to keep him on 10 SCVs all game? Like, just let's get an army together. Let's punch through an area and make this impossible for him.
Not to mention, Light has so many places he's had to defend and set siege tanks up. You would have to imagine the center of the map is actually quite squishy.
Yeah, absolutely. This revealing his wraiths now. Mine has a cloak even.
It looks like Light is going to try to push through the bottom here. I wonder if this is a good spot to flank, though. Oh, man, one tank going down to a mine.
Well, this push from Light is desperation. There's no way he's going to keep that.
No, I don't think so.
No way.
Okay, we lost vision for a second. I don't know what happened there. This push, again, getting cleaned up, not really making a scratch in the defensive mind here. The supplies are getting a little bit closer, though, in Light's defense. But, again, Mind really knows how to take the lead and keep it here. He's made major adjustments from game one. That much is for sure.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm just wondering why. See, this is what I was talking about by kind of a lack of killer instinct. Like, for instance, that group of units is so easy to clear. That's not a scary group of units from Light. Like, vultures can't clear that, but if you have any number of siege tanks, you can kill all that. So this is the type of situation, I think, where you just keep killing anything he sends out. You know, like what Snow does when he gets ahead. Do that as Terran.
Yeah.
Just pick off tanks left and right. Gain that advantage. Exacerbate your lead.
So, I'm waiting for that push to happen here. Mind, a very conservative player. He tends to maybe turtle a little bit longer than some of these other Terrans do.
Oh, Light?
Yeah.
Feels like he likes to get set up.
Yeah.
Some Terrans really like to get set up. They like to have their stuff in order. They're, what is it, mise en place or whatever that the chefs call it, where all their knives are laid out?
Wait, what is that called?
It's like mise en place or something it's called,
it's like a German word or something?
I think it's French, but it like means getting all your stuff in order. Like you get all your cooking utensils out and you have them all in the right place, and you're like, okay, now I'm ready to cook.
Oh, okay.
Some Terrans are like that.
I've never heard that. Yeah, yeah.
Where they want other stuff in place. He's like, okay, I got +2.
I think you can get that in Protoss and Zerg as well. You know, in certain matchups where you got everything sorted. Okay. I've covered all my bases now.
Everything's pretty well defended. My factories are pumping. You know, I'm ready to go.
My rally points have been reset, and now let's...
Yeah, I'm ready to fight. Let's do this. This army of Light looks so weak. It really does.
Well, mine has way outgrown Light here to an almost comical amount. Light is at 200% of the income and expansions compared to Light.
Oh, God.
Yeah, literally, if you just look, it's like Light actually... Light's basically on 3 bases trying to take a 4th.
And then we got the 5-base Mind over here.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, well, this is, again, going to be met with a denial, I believe. This is a lot of tanks, though, here for Light. Let's see. D-Matrix would be nice here. There we go. And now that tank will never die. Oh, I spoke too soon. Siege tanks do a lot of damage.
Well, Light's making some good moves, right? And the higher your supply gets, you get into positions where maybe you are able to hold an additional base, continue your macro forward. Ooh, very nice.
I gotta say, man, Light makes this look a lot harder in TvT. You know?
It's hard to kill people in this matchup, seriously.
But he's continuing to almost get out constantly. I mean, TvT is such a matchup of stamina, you know, of will, of perseverance.
Terran players are the true athletes of the esports realm.
I love your Terran propaganda.
It's not propaganda if it's true, friend.
You don't agree with me? I got to go back to re-education camp for Terran.
Yes.
All right, another drop over here. Now this is a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the Light can't clean this up, but
he'll clean it, but at a high cost.
Yeah. Again, the armory's here. Will I get the closure I needed in this game? Will that armory finally be killed off? I'm actually surprised this didn't kill more over here, by the way.
Yeah, well, ending games, again, like, if you do these things with mass dropships, yeah, sometimes you can end the game, but it gets a little bit cost inefficient. Like, we saw him sacrifice his 3 cloaked wraiths to tank the turret shots to get the dropships in, but then the turrets didn't even die, and then he has to fly them out over the turrets. So we see he doesn't have as many dropships now. Not the best move. And again, a lot of this is about knowing when to stop. The drops were working fantastically for a bit, but they're kind of scaling down right now. I feel like, you know, it's one of these situations where if you just take all your units, choose any spot in the map, any spot, you're at 40 spot, choose a spot and break through it.
Yeah.
Just kill a spot. And even if now you're only up 10 supply, you own more of the map and you just took out a base, you know?
He's going to come in once again.
Oh, that siege line from Light is insane.
I should know this, but I don't. This doesn't count as low ground to high ground, right?
Yeah, that's actually a low ground base that Light is on. It just
so
has
so
a
it's
ridge.
low ground to low ground.
This is low ground versus low ground.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
So he wouldn't have attacked it otherwise. But yeah, the only high ground bases are ready. We're about to click it. No, he just moved it. Okay, it's those ones up the ramp. You know, those small ones. There's 3 of them that are high ground. Everything else on this map is low ground.
You know, man, Light is pushing back. I do want to point out that Mind will be draining his resources a little bit sooner than Light will be. Artosis, I see you counting the expansions on the mini-map.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so what we're seeing here, it seems like what Light's plan is set up siege lines at those 2 bases and then take this 12 o'clock. If he can actually secure 12 o'clock, he'll have the same number of gases technically as Mind. Mind will have more. Mind will have an additional mineral base. But you know, the gases matter more in the late game. You know, because vultures and turrets and stuff don't really scale into the late game as well.
Dropships. You know, he could come in here and start taking out these spots. Are we going to see Light possibly come back here? You know, Mind had his era in this game where I thought he was going to close it out, but Light has just tenaciously persevered through this.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, I'm looking at the same game you are, and I'm seeing Light really fight back strongly. It's still an uphill battle. Like, you can do these drops like this, but what did this do? It killed some units and some SCVs. It didn't really take more ground or anything. Light needs to secure this base. He needs to clear those tanks. He needs to take 12 o'clock over.
Yeah,
his dropship should be going there next.
If Light reclaims 12, then Light is possibly going to steer this game into his win.
Well, if he takes 12 and holds it, the game gets really long, tasteless. Hope you didn't want to start our next match on time.
No, I don't think so. What time is it anyways? It's almost 4:17.
Don't forget, this is game 3 and they're 1-1. So
yeah. So we'll probably start today off behind schedule. I think you're right. Okay, interesting play here. Light actually going to try to take the location below 12 o'clock to stop circulation.
If he holds this spot that he just dropped onto, that means he gets both those bases, which means he has more than half the map.
Yeah. This is so impressive here by Light. Light needs to step up his macro a little bit. As I say that he spends all his money. Nicely done. Oh my God, I love this. The vultures over here. You need to put that fire out immediately.
Light is playing like a god right now.
Yeah, he's just so good.
He's playing so well.
He's so fast. It's crazy to me.
He's so
good at StarCraft. Wow. These Star Gamers. Wow.
He's Star Gamers.
Yeah.
Well, Mind knows that he needs to break this area. He cannot allow this. I mean, I think he can break it, right? He's got a lot of units.
I don't know. This is very weird. How many tanks are actually at 12? I saw mines.
5, I think.
And those are targeted to hit the this kind of weird expansion in the middle of the map that's sort of on high ground, but not really.
If he scans, it hits. Okay, he's got 4 tanks there.
There's 2 Goliaths. I think I saw 2 over there. So he could drop on that easily.
Yeah, you can clear it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 1 Goliath. I love that the CC is going to land. It's like, okay, bro. I don't know that... I'm really intrigued by the drop in front of this. I like that he tried to take the position that will later on give him access to all 3 bases instead of trying to scramble and squeeze out a main.
Yeah.
It shows that Light really is cognizant of exactly the disadvantage he's in.
Yeah.
And so he knows he has to make a dramatic move if he's going to win here.
Yeah, he definitely knows what needs to happen to have a chance to win. It's not taking the base now, it's controlling the area and making it so defensible that your opponent can't break it. Because once you do that, you get the base, you know?
Yeah.
It's more about holding the area. It's not about getting the command center there quicker, because they'll just clear it. This Mind, he's starting to push one of these bases. Of course, these center bases aren't worth quite as much as the other ones. They are lower mineral and lower gas. By the way, a little fun fact about Light. The way that you can tell that it's Light playing is he makes his comm stat before anything. Like when a command center lands
before
somewhere,
SCVs.
like he doesn't know that command centers have L lands. He only lands them with the C button, which makes the comm stat.
I like that.
It's just this weird thing. I watch a lot of Light streams, so definitely something I've noticed.
Well, the outpost that was held over here by Mind at 12 is gone.
Yeah.
And I guess Mind is going to try with everything he has, to break this. This is so important. But if he gets the siege tanks over here, okay, here we go. He's going to try to bum rush this right over here. There's more tanks coming down. Great D-matrix there on the tank most furthest forward.
It's actually,
oh my God, this is so many tanks.
It is a ridiculous amount of tanks. And even though the supplies are both about maxed out, Mind has more tanks.
Yeah.
A lot of Light's supply is in other stuff like Goliaths, dropships, vultures.
Okay, he's knocked down the first base. That's being flown away, but
You can lose that if you get the main and natural. That's worth.
Yeah.
That's really where this fight is.
Well, he also soaked up a lot of resources there anyways.
Yeah, it's
you
true.
know?
It's true. Of course, geysers never fully die. Do get 2 after they go out. So it's
That's
like
true.
It's true. Sometimes in late game TvT, occasionally you'll see someone actually take a depleted geyser that they got from their opponent and mine from it. It's not that often, but it happens.
Can he try to drop on all those tanks?
No.
No,
It's
it
too
doesn't
much.
work like that in TvT. Is there a point where Splash just becomes comical?
If you try to drop on that many tanks that have +2 attack, everything will die.
Yeah.
Everything. Like, you'll kill some of the tanks, but you'll be more cost inefficient than your opponent, I would say. But if you have a big ground army coming at the same time, then it's a good move, you know?
Yeah. Okay, he's really beginning to bash through here. This is an unusual location to attack, but this does... Oh, my God, more vultures coming in here.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
You know,
but look at the amount of damage he's taking here. He loses some of his dropships, might lose that command center even.
Yeah, I think he will lose that CC there.
Mind is making some really strong moves at the moment.
Thing is, though, Light is really interrupting mining, and again, let's not forget, Mind is going to mine out at these lower bases pretty soon here.
All right, moving up here. He wants to take out this base, but dropship's coming. It's not that many tanks anymore. He does get them in siege mode.
Okay, can you actually fit this on here? All right.
Ooh, good defense matrix.
What do you think about sieging there? Is it better to just let him fire?
I would have let him fire
Yeah.
personally. But I guess if more units happen to be coming, it's
That's
better
true.
to siege.
I guess we see everything he doesn't.
Yeah. Okay, 3-3 upgrades even.
I got to tell you, man, I'm actually rooting for Light to take this. This has been such an exciting TvT. Like, if he can actually just pull this off, it shows how good of a player he is.
Yeah.
We thought Mind was going to win this, by the way, a long time ago.
Yeah, he was being a little bit too
Something
fancy.
like the 12-minute marker or something. Now here we are. Every base needs to be accounted for. Okay, a big drop in the main here.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
a lot of dropships going down before they can unload.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to take this area, but Light is making it as
Oh,
inefficient as it
no.
could ever be.
And now this drop will clean up the attack here by Mind. Oh my God. That was the play that Light needed. Mind with a huge blunder, running out of resources at the bottom. It's basically the upper right 2 bases that are his that he can begin to drain, but Light with so much more potential.
You know, this is a close series, and it did look like a game Mind could win.
Yeah.
But overall, the more I'm watching these two play, the more I feel like Light is a bit stronger in this matchup.
I agree.
He's coming from quite a deficit. You know, that initial drop did so much damage to him. Yet here he is fighting back.
This is such a demoralizing loss here for Mind. I mean, he really had this game.
Well,
He
he's
basically ticked all the boxes after
Yeah.
that harass that he should be able to close it out. But Light, so good.
He still does have some chances, right? There's some other moves you can do. Like if he can take that natural at 12 o'clock, that's a good move. If he can get in and kill the factories, he can probably still win at that point. Well, that's funny.
I don't know the story of...
He's trying to send SCVs to the top right mineral base.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But we need to see Mind make like a really decisive, really strong move at this point because he's not mining very much.
He's going to try to just come through the mouth of the natural. A lot more tanks sieging up over here. You can feel how long it takes a tank to siege in these fights.
Yeah. That is so many tanks from Light. That is so many tanks from Mind.
Yeah, I think he might win a little bit of ground here, but I just question the next drop coming in here. Watch as Mind's supply plummets. And this is, what is this, the 6th time
I know
that Vultures have come in here?
He finally left a Goliath there, but that's Mind bait right there.
Yeah.
It's only one Goliath.
There's one Goliath dancing through all these minerals.
This Mind, he's denying that gas. He's definitely denying the natural for now, which is important.
Yes, but drops happening elsewhere could be more problematic. Wow, good shots with those Goliaths. Taking out 2 of those drop ships most certainly were full of units.
This is a very down and dirty game at the moment. See, Light has actually taken a supply lead, really for the first time.
You can see, though, that Mind's income is actually growing slower. Like, Light's spending his money pretty quickly, but Mind's minerals are shooting up at a slower rate, which means Light should eventually overpower him unless Mind has an incredible engage here.
Mind gonna reclaim this mineral base. A lot of these bases are actually getting mined out. Look at that, he's getting ready. He knows that he needs to take that natural as well.
Wow.
That's where the next battle is, I would say.
This is really interesting. He's actually going to come through here. Now that there's finally an opening with that attack up there at the top, he's just going to push through this area and go all the way to the right side of the map here.
I think Light's pretty much done it.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to deny that base as well.
He's gotten up here. Now these tanks have to come down, which means they're going to give up this position over at the natural, which, by the way, Light is going to expand to. Good scan over here. Oh, sieging up a little bit more quickly. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Just so cost-efficient tanks in siege mode. 3-3 siege tanks tasteless.
I can't believe how good this guy is. Light is just amazing. This is an inspirational TvT, really, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he was so behind.
Oh, Light is a great player. He's kind of one of those guys where, you know, everyone expected the world of him, and he's always been very good. But right now, I mean, the way he's playing, he might make a round of 4. I think in his entire career, he might have made 1 round of 4.
You know, this goes to show you how dramatic a TvT can be. I mean, he's so... This seemed so mind-favored. And it was basically mind-favored for the majority of this already half-hour game. But battle by battle, little victory by little victory, Light eventually took that lead. And here we are, and we're seeing Mind in what appears to be his death throes here. As he loses base after base, his worker count has dropped lower and lower. He's at 120 supply, and that is not growing back to maxed out anytime soon.
No, I don't think that it even can. He's just losing everything. He's really got very little mining going on, whereas Light is taking that top natural as well. Huge siege lines coming up. But to just siege here as Mind is to give up the game as well. He has to regain ground.
Yeah, and now we have this attack coming here. I think that's going to be it. He finally got the edge around him. GG. What a sick TvT. And Light knows he just played an amazing TvT.
Yeah, you can see how proud of himself he is.
I want to see Mind on camera here. I want to see the salt,
the heartbreak,
the sodium, the sadness.
Those sick drops and everything.
Yeah, he played so well, but you know, Light is just, again, I use this a lot when I talk about him. Bigger, faster, stronger.
Yeah.
He is just a StarCraft player who is so fast, who macros out so well, who takes engagements so cleanly. Even though Mind's strategy worked out, we saw Light will his way through this. Now, map number 4 is going to be Overwatch.
Ooh, this is one of the most positionally based TvT maps out there.
And I think things can spiral out of control much more quickly on this map than, let's say, Circuit Breakers. First, we're going to look at some highlights from the series thus far. Oh, I'm sorry, we're actually not going to do that. My bad, guys. Anyways, I think we're going to be going into the next game pretty quickly here. I'll tell you what, man, I'm exhausted, and I just watched it and talked about it. I can't imagine how those two guys feel.
Oh, yeah, TvT is tiring. Sometimes your brain just kind of shuts off because the late game gets so weird anyways, and you're making so many strange decisions that you've never made before. That itself is actually what tires you in StarCraft a lot of the time. The automated stuff it's much easier.
The calories you have to burn, seriously.
Yeah.
In that matchup.
Yeah, they did an article on ESPN about the chess players and how they are like losing 20 pounds at tournaments and stuff because they are using so much brain energy. Yeah. I tell you what, like I play a TvT like that, I'm covered in sweat afterwards.
Oh yeah. Absolutely, man.
I know you don't know anything about that being a PvP player, but like
this elitism over here. This garbage kid in his garbage matchup that we're trying to promote. How dare you, Artosis? No, but seriously, like grinding out long macro games, it does something to the body and the mind.
It does.
You know, the stamina required to keep up in that. Do you think there was any key moment where Mind made a blunder that then allowed Light to come back?
Absolutely. I think that drop where he flew the Wraiths in and then went in and dropped, I don't think that's the way you kill people. I said it before the series even started. It's like, yeah, sometimes you get kills like that. Sometimes you kill people by mass dropping them. Absolutely. Right. That's like when I lose to a really bad TvT player, that's how they got me. But in a situation like that where you've already done so much damage with drops, stop the drops. Just set up locations that they can't break or break locations where if you break them, they're further behind.
Yeah.
Use the advantage that you got through killing so many SCVs and so many units in having more units and making the strong moves that there's not much counterplay against. Dropship play, I mean, you're putting a lot of eggs into a very small basket that's very expensive. 100 minerals, 100 gas per dropship, it costs a lot. You're dropping off this army of 8 tanks and 8 Goliaths or something. That's such a valuable army, and you're giving him so many things that he can break with. Yes, you can do a lot of damage with that Doom drop, but there's SCVs there to fight. Those are cheap. You know, he brings his own siege tanks. You don't have full vision of everything. There's splash damage happening absolutely everywhere.
I wonder how Mind is going to perform in the next game, because sometimes we'll see games that are really close like that, and then they fall apart afterwards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mind knows. He knows that he had that game in the bag. He was winning that, but Light was just so strong and able to push back so hard. There wasn't much he could do. On Overwatch, it's a one-on-one map. Is there a cheese we could see? Like an all-in? Does that really happen in TvT?
It sometimes, but I think of these two players at this level, you're not likely to see any sort of like all-in type
all-in stuff. Okay.
The most all-in stuff you'll see are things like we just saw from Mind, where it's 3 dropships very early on, where you've foregone unit production to get a strong move off.
Okay, our players have joined the lobby. The map will be Overwatch. Right now, Light with a 2-1 lead over Mind. If Light wins here, he moves on to the next round of KSL. If Mind is victorious, then we go to game number 5, the decider match. I'm ready to start this.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's get in there.
Please. Okay, we're time. We're ready. Okay, Light is in the upper left and Mind is in the bottom right. Again, remember, this is a one-on-one map. They know each other's starting locations. But as you were saying, Artosis, not a lot of cheeses you can do right away. Some of the matchups, there's just crazy all-in stuff you can do.
Yeah, I mean, you can do proxy barracks. Okay, Light is going to. He's going to go
wow.
ARX. Okay. Yeah, It's doable. I think 8 racks on this map is pretty decent, too. There's a lot of places you can hide it.
So what's the idea with the 8 racks? Obviously, you're trying to rush, but is there some... Are you trying to kill an SCV making a certain building?
No,
Are you
you're
trying
just,
to get a bunker up and just do a lot of damage, or what's the deal?
Yeah, you're just trying to do as much damage as possible, and normally what you'll do behind it is factory and expansion. And a lot of times it will even turn into a contain. When you realize that they basically held it, but because of the high ground advantage, then a lot of Terrans will actually build a bunker at the natural. And then you have to get a siege tank to clear that, which... You know, making early siege tanks, you can kind of attack as a Terran player.
So this strategy is not designed to kill them, it's designed to hobble them so that you can get into a better spot later on.
But
now, with the SCV coming out here, if he sees this...
Yeah, it can be very strong if he sees it. Well, it doesn't scout for it, but just getting to his opponent's base, you'll know it's there.
Right. The lack of the barracks tells you something.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, it's a strong build. It's... We'll see how their micro looks. Oh, God. He's actually in trouble now.
Okay, so...
okay. Yeah, actually, I don't know why I didn't catch it. That was going out to make a barracks. But that is a very forward 11 racks. Anyways, if it was a fast command center, this could kill. And in this weird situation where your opponent is proxying their barracks, but later, it's pretty bad, man.
It's funny how this works out. You oftentimes set these builds up intended to deal with a player who's playing an ordinary game. But if you have two players both trying to pull a fast one on each other, then you end up in a very odd spot.
Yeah, yeah. He's going to get there. I wish we could get Mine's face on camera, because as soon as he sees the Marine, he is just going to be heartbroken, because I don't know that you can hold this. Light would have to really screw up his micro. Just look at this. It's going to be 2 Marines against nothing. Yeah. Oh, he's actually slowing it down. Look at this. This is so funny.
Now, there's nothing back at Mine's base right now other than SCVs, and SCVs are not going to be good at fighting a bunker. Now, with the, I believe he wants to leapfrog the bunkers here. Is that correct?
Yeah, he probably will.
Okay. SCV's pulled.
Oh, my God. And when he sees the bunker, it's just like, okay.
Yeah, your heart sinks. Now, he can try to get the SCVs making the bunker, but it's not easy for SCVs to get the other SCV making the bunker. Now, the rush is activating much slower here on the other side of the map. We don't have it on camera yet. I think there is a Marine inside the base now, though.
Okay. I mean, maybe there's some world where
he surrounds it.
Well, he's not going to kill the bunkers.
Trade.
Yeah, it could turn into a base trade, but Light started the Marine production so much earlier that it's impossible for me to figure out.
Well, there's also so many SCVs that were made here for Light before this attack actually happened, and he's actually about to sandwich him here in the middle of the map. Remember that SCVs are actually stronger than Marines, guys. They're 60 HP to the 40 of the Marines. And, yeah, this is, I think, all but over.
It definitely looks that way.
Okay.
And he's even going to lose his command center. Like, the command center is just being gunned down by Marines.
Yeah, it'll eventually get in the red. Mine only has 19 minerals to repair. By the way...
yeah, this is maybe an anticlimactic ending to this.
No, this is cool. I actually appreciate games like this. GG. It is interesting to see what happens when two guys try to cheese. And look at how happy Light is.
What a big deal that he's made a round of 4 here. It's been a long time coming for him.
I know, he's so good. He just, everybody else, when he gets far enough along, they manage to tiptoe by him. Wow. We don't see players express this degree of joy. This makes me happy seeing him this happy.
Well, when you've been such a great top of the world Terran for so long, but haven't been able to deliver. There's so many Terrans that we've had that have had their moment in the spotlight. Mind even winning a championship in MSL back in the day. Maybe Light can finally add a big title to his career.
Okay, well, Mind, you know, I think a lot of this we can go back to and say that Game 3 is really emblematic of Mind's loss here. He's a good player, but Light is so strong, so fast, so nimble as a TvT player that Mind was unable to keep up. I mean, the mechanics, the ability to power out units now in StarCraft, as people have really, really unpacked this game and are continuing to learn more about it. Someone like Light is like the, I guess the equivalent of a bodybuilder as far as macro goes.
Sure.
His form is perfect.
At it. Yeah, he produces very, very well, but he's also strategically really strong, positionally strong. You mentioned several times that he was kind of identifying what he needed to do next. For instance, securing 12 o'clock on Sylphid.
Yeah.
That is incredibly important to realize ahead of your opponent what the actual critical thing to do is at that time.
Yeah. Great series, and guys, we're just getting started. We're just getting started.
That was only the first match of the day.
If we were in a restaurant, they would have just brought my lemonade, okay? My food's not even here yet. My appetizers are coming. We're gonna have a blooming onion. We haven't gotten the main meal yet. And I'm one of those guys that likes to order dessert. Okay, some cheesecake at the end. You think we're done? No, I'm getting an espresso after that. I'm a little bit tired from all the cheesecake I had.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, so this was the Neo Sylphid game. This was really the game of the series.
Well, this was such an important thing because Mind had that advantage, and then Light just smashed him. It's definitely some misengagements and mispositioning there from Mind.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is the Fighting Spirit game. I don't even know what map we're on. Yeah, this was the game where Light just punched back so hard, and Mind never got his his contain set up.
It was a positional error by Mind because he had the advantage, without a doubt.
GG.
So he was unhappy with that. Then we had this game where, yeah, Mind did end up winning this one. He had the quick command center against the factory expansion, cross spawns, so it really worked out well for him build order wise. See how much damage he's doing. Look at that, 3-4 SCVs, slowing down everything. Lots of harassment going on.
Yeah, this was a pretty slow and brutal victory here by Mind. He just got that contain up. Light was pushing back. I almost wonder if this was the game that then wore Mind out enough that in Game 3, that's why we saw Light power through so hard, you know?
Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah, Light made some good... I mean, he fought well. But Mind he got himself well ahead. He took his time finishing off, like you said. This is like this music. Like, damn, someone really messed up. Now, this is the move that I thought actually threw the game. Because right now he was up 40 supply when he did this drop.
Yeah,
he's flying through the turrets. The thing is, the SCVs are the counter to siege tanks.
Well, he also flew back out through the turrets before the turrets had even been destroyed. Right? He's like, all right, well, let's get rid of the rest of these drop ships. Good.
Yeah, look at that.
I want exactly one to get home with 55 health.
I guess he's still technically up 40 supply. But the supply he lost was dropships and units, and the supply that Light lost was SCVs.
So here's the moment that Mind came in and got control of this 12 o'clock spot, but Light was very smart. He didn't engage this. He got out. Oh, no, he did engage it, but then later on he gets out in front of it.
Yeah, he really focused on keeping this area.
I'm sorry. I'm getting the chronology off on this match because I don't know when we're jumping around to what. So anyways, eventually Light gets control of the entire northern part of the map. And, Mind has been mining out his side of the map for a long time now. And so, oddly enough, the disadvantage that Light was in earlier on, it ended up being an advantage. Mind had used up his resources and had not managed to pull through with a win, and that allowed Light to just sneak out in the very end and come out on top. Now, this is a situation where you have two builds that are never supposed to be interacting.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
This was a hard counter, basically. And obviously, no one knows what their opponent's going to do before a game, but
yeah.
Mind's build should never, ever, ever, ever beat Light's build in any situation. Flash in this situation loses just as poorly.
Yeah.
There's no way to really stop this, unfortunately. I mean, you do a proxy 11 against a proxy 8 racks, and it's terrible. You're sitting there mining gas for a factory you're never going to be able to build. Your Marines are later. Everything's wrong.
Yeah, and this is just a game of numbers at this point in time.
Yeah.
Really nicely done here, though, by Light. Kind of an exciting end to this.
Yeah.
Let's see how we're doing on time here. You know what? We're right back on schedule.
All right. Perfect.
Well. Okay, guys. Well, that's just, again, the first match. We haven't even gotten to the main entrees yet. And we'll be coming to that in a little bit. Now, the next match should be scheduled to be, I think, at 5, right?
Should be.
I've been using the hot packs. I've been trying to juggle. You guys want to see this? Watch this. Okay, so that's what I've gotten down so far.
It's not bad.
I've got a third hot pack here, but if I try to do it, I go, and I can't do it yet.
No, if you watch some YouTube videos, you could probably learn it pretty quickly.
I'm going to do that.
That'd be cool.
And then when I'm doing my great PvP analysis, I'm just juggling like this, walking around.
Yeah.
I've got a bunch of books balanced on my head.
If feel like there's a lot of jokes I could make here, but I'll let them go. That would be cool though if that's kind of your gimmick, is that you're the juggling caster.
Yeah.
Because this whole Tastosis thing is getting old, so maybe it's time that you become the juggling caster.
And maybe you have a bunch of ferrets that do tricks on the table. You're like, oh, here we go, and they jump through hoops. Yeah.
I bring in my flea circus.
So we can finally join the circus like we've always wanted to.
Definitely.
People at home are like, we're already in the circus because they're both clowns.
Yeah.
Nice try. We got out ahead of that one. So we're going to have a short break.
Yeah, that's going to be coming up.
I think the Korean casters. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We have an interview that they're doing with the player.
Yeah. But coming up next is Soma versus Best. What do you think, juggling caster?
What? I wasn't listening. I was trying to juggle. What did you say?
Soma versus Best.
Best.
Oh, okay. Thanks, juggling caster.
No problem.
He's so great. Look at you go. Yeah, it's not bad. But you gotta keep going. Now, I think what you're messing up.
That's the part where my brain can't do it.
Go like this instead. Okay, what you're doing is you're throwing both up in the air. Throw one up.
Watch this.
No.
Oh, did you just see that?
So throw one
Watch
up.
this.
No.
Oh, my God, I did it again.
You're great.
Yes.
Throw one up.
Yeah.
And then with this hand, throw it to that hand, and then catch. Yes.
Like that?
Yes.
Am I doing it?
Yes.
Are you guys watching? Are you proud of me?
Okay. Practice that, and then we can add the third one in.
Okay.
Well, you have to practice that first. You can't just add the third one in.
I can do whatever I want to do. I'm a grown-up. You can't stop me.
You're the least grown-up I know.
Wait. I think we're gonna have Best come out on top, but Soma is the dark horse of the tournament. I think that's fair to say, right?
Yeah.
He's new. He's good.
Yeah.
Best. He's good, but I feel like he doesn't dominate as hard now. He wins, but it's a back and forth.
Everyone loves Best. Everyone wants Best to do well. Everyone respects Best and thinks he's great. But he doesn't win championships. He's like Light in many ways.
Yeah. We'll see, though. I see him actually right now. He's just getting ready for his match. This is going to be a good series. And then we've got a PvP after that.
Yeah. And I'm hesitant about calling that something that's going to be good. I just have this bad feeling that Rain is going to smash.
This is what we call StarCraft racism. Okay,
it's not
He's
even
not
racism.
for PvP.
It's more about.
I want to point out how tolerant I have been of your matchup. Okay,
my matchup. That's
your Tank Wars matchup.
So beautiful that you can only liken it to the oldest strategic
game on Earth. As beautiful as spiders with lasers and roly-polies fighting.
Spiders with lasers and roly-polies.
I don't know, Artosis.
Right. What a fool I've been.
Yeah.
The beauty of PvP.
Yeah, go play with your army men, all right? Yeah. I'm going to go have laser spiders and roly-polies battling it out.
Sounds good, juggling caster.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No problem.
You're getting good.
Yeah. I was worried while we were doing it because I kept trying to do it when we were casting. It was going to just hit you and you're going to get really mad at me. But so far, so good.
I get really mad at you all the time, though. Don't worry about it.
This is an abusive relationship I'm in.
It definitely is.
I've been trying to blink Morse code to the audience, let them know I'm in danger.
They'll
but
never know.
Learning the Morse code is coming along like my
What's
juggling
wrong with you,
skills.
Blinky? What's wrong with you, Blinky?
Stop it, Artosis!
All right.
Now, God, this interview's really going on, man.
Yeah, well, it's a big moment for Light, and he should have to shine because that next round, though, it's actually like winnable for him as well. He's going to play Best or Soma in the next round. That is doable. His TvP is not bad as people say it is. He's actually quite good in TvP. He plays some nice TvP. It's just it's not quite the level of his TvC, which is God tier.
It's true.
Yeah.
But if he can overcome that, we've already seen this with Snow and with Mini. So those guys are struggling in different matchups and managed to really sand down the edges, the areas they were having problems, and refine that, and then come back and play really well. Maybe we'll see that from Light. He looked great in this TvT. I mean, that was really an epic series that we had there, especially Game 3. It's good TvP, why not? Because I think Protoss is the race you got to be able to beat nowadays.
Yeah.
If you're going to win a StarCraft tournament in Korea, there's enough Protosses that play very differently and are generally a threat. But you got to be ready.
You got to be really robust in TvP if you want to be a real contender for things. That is certainly true.
There's been times where you have to be able to beat Terran, or you got to be able to beat Zerg.
That was a big
chunk of
StarCraft history.
To play on maps without ramps or whatever it is. You know, different types of metas that we've had in different maps and players dominating. But it seems like nowadays you have to be able to kill Protoss, or you just won't get that far.
There's always going to be 1 to 2 really strong Protosses in your way. to a championship, always, because the top 8s just are generally like half Protoss.
Yeah.
Or more. You know, we had that crazy, that one last season, the KSL, so many Protoss. Oh my gosh.
Too many Protoss.
Too many.
Well, it was good for me.
Say.
I faced a lot of PvP on the ladder.
Did your PvP get better from
It
that?
did. It got a lot better.
That's good.
But I'm also in ELO hell, where I know what I'm supposed to do, but then the guy does something that doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't go away.
It goes away.
It goes away in S rank, and that's it.
I'll see you there.
All right.
In S rank.
Yeah.
Juggling while I'm waiting for my my match to queue up. So, I don't know. I've run out of stuff to say, Artos.
I
This
think
is
the interview
some
should be
long
longer.
downtime.
Yeah, it should be the long.
Oh, I think they're actually wrapping it up. Okay, good. So, guys, we'll be back over here at, it's going to be about a 10-minute break, I think. And then, probably, yeah, probably. We don't make the rules. We just talk during the show. But 10-minute break, then we're going to come back with a PvZ, then PvP, then PvZ again.